Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm back with another build. This is a level 200 strength and intelligence build using cold infused weapons and going for like a Hoarfrost King kind of Viking type vibe here, using the Storm Ashes of War, using a few of the ice spells, although we don't really use those a whole lot on this build. But it's a pretty good build. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I put a couple points into Faith as well, so I can use these Smith script weapons. But it's a level 200 build, so that's not really too tough to pull off. We have tons of stat points at level 200. So I'll show you actually all the stats at the end of the video. I'll show you the stats, the talismans, the armor, and all that kind of stuff. You can skip to the end if that's all you want to see, but I'll save that for later. So immediately we get into a Jar Cannon battle with this guy, which is pretty fun. I love a good Jar Cannon battle. I think he's got the regular Jar Cannon. I've got the Rabbids Cannon that you get in the DLC. The difference is that this one does a bit of magic damage, a bit of physical damage, in addition to whatever kind of bullets you're shooting. But this one also has a slight homing effect, which you'll see right here. So it knocks him right into the water, and that's pretty nice. I think this is the first time that I've actually gotten use of the homing effect on the Jar Cannon. I just started using it on this build, so it's not like it's been bad or anything, but this was the first opportunity that I had, and it was super fun. One thing I was trying to pull off is you can kind of free aim the shot and then lock on at the last second to have the bolt like really curve through the air. I've seen somebody do that online, or at least I'm pretty sure I saw somebody do that on an invasion video, so I've been trying to pull it off myself. Haven't quite got it yet, but I'm going to keep playing with it and see if I can get it. But anyways, after knocking that guy into the water, I know there's still, at least one or two more people around here. I see another furled finger down below. Give him a little wave to let him know that I know he's there, because I'm not going to just go down there. I know he's planning some kind of ambush or something like that. So we see him, and we know the host is still around somewhere as well. He's actually up on the level that I'm at. I just hadn't realized. I kind of searched around, didn't see him, but he must have been hiding somewhere good. Maybe using the Mimic Veil or something. But we just go down and engage this guy. It gives us a chance to fight this guy before it becomes a 2-on-1. And there's another nice hit with the Smith script hammer's throwing attack, which is really fun to use. Now, when I first started using this weapon, I thought, man, there's no way I'm going to get any hits with the throwing attack. Like, this thing has a pretty big wind up. The range actually isn't that great either. It really drops off, and it's not great for free aiming. So I didn't really think it would work that well. I thought it would be kind of a meme weapon, and that I'd probably end up not using it again. But I loved it. I ended up getting a ton of hits with it. It's a really nice little heal punish. Like, I hit that first guy twice, I hit the second guy once, and then this guy, I just hit him twice. And you can see that it still inflicted the frostbite as well, so assuming that would work with poison, that would work with bleed, and all that kind of stuff too. So you can use it to inflict status effect from afar, keep the pressure on. Pretty useful, actually, and would highly recommend it. So the Stormcaller is also really handy there. That kind of, killed the second Phantom, and it kind of scared that host off the edge there. People know that Stormcaller is a pretty dangerous Ash of War, because if you get hit with that, you're kind of stuck into it, and that whole barrage is going to proc frostbite or bleed or poison or any kind of status effect that you have as well. So people know to steer clear, and would highly recommend using it. But in this invasion, I'm actually using Storm Assault, and you'll see that in a little bit as well. So Stormcaller is a really good get off me button. That's for if you're getting mobbed, or there's just a couple people on you and you need to get them off so you can get a little bit of breathing room. It's also good for finishing people off in tight spaces as well. Storm Blade is a really good heal punish. Storm Stomp is good for setting up like a true combo or a nice big hit. But Storm Assault is really nice for just kind of single target takedown. And the little like Storm Wave or Storm Stomp thing that you do at the beginning of the attack kind of protects you from getting hit from behind from one of the other Phantoms or something like that. And it kind of locks the person that you're trying to kill into place so that they can't really dodge. So as you see right there, he's stuck in place, and then boom, you just slam him. And that did over 1,000 damage. I don't know how much health he had, but it didn't seem like he had a ton of health, but still, that did a ton of damage at once. And that was the guy that was shooting the thorn spells at us. Those thorn spells are bad news, so it's a good thing that we got him out of there. You can see there, I get a bit of use out of Freezing Mist. That's definitely the spell that I use most of all the spells on this build. It's mostly just good for area control. Like, getting frostbitten is honestly not that bad, but people will really, really avoid going into that frozen mist cloud. So much so that it actually kind of prevented the Phantom from following the host here and protecting him. We managed to isolate and get the kill. And that's what it's all about. You know, separating the host from the Phantoms is one of the hardest things to do, but it's one of the things that you kind of have to learn to do in order to have success in invasions, because it's really hard to kill people when there's 3 of them at once and they're all attacking you. They can all cover each other, they don't do any friendly fire to each other or anything like that, so it can be a little bit tough to find those windows and actually get in there and do big damage. So you've got to know when you can do burst damage and how to do burst damage, who to target, and that kind of thing. It's really something to think about if you're a new invader. Just kind of one of the basic skills, like target prioritization and that kind of thing. And that's what I've been trying to think a lot about as well, because I'm not a great invader myself. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I really like making different builds, and I was making different builds back when I only played PvE, so I just kind of had the builds all ready, and I thought might as well invade with these. But that's one of the main things that I've learned. You just got to prioritize your targets. And things like situational awareness are so much more important. Like, you don't need to learn how to ravioli step, and you don't need to learn true combos or anything like that. What you need to learn is, how hit stun works, how hyper armor works, how priority works when it comes to attacking, and just general situational awareness. Learning to parry is pretty helpful as well. And then how to put a build together. There's a lot of good basic things to learn, but look at the absolute spacing there. That was pretty nice, wasn't it? So we managed to get this Phantom out of the way, and the host tries to run, but he doesn't really run far enough, as you'll see. So he runs a little bit. This Godskin Apostle, though, I'm pretty sure he'll chase you like all the way down this hill. He's not the quickest. He'll kind of walk slowly sometimes, but I think he's got a pretty good range. So you see right here, this guy gets absolutely nailed by that attack. And that's got him low, and we're able to finish him with that running attack. And then we can celebrate by dancing the dance of victory. Now this right here, this is an absolutely terrible spawn point. This is one of probably like 12 to 15 spawn points in the game that has just no sense at all in existing. Like, this little fight in this room is usually just absolute hell for the invader. Now, I did manage to, spoiler alert, I managed to come out on top on this one, but it doesn't usually happen. Honestly, you're probably best off just using those invincibility frames at the very beginning to, unless you have a huge AoE attack that's going to be really good for you, but you're probably best off just using that time to finger sever and get the hell out of there. But, I tried to wave at them, I tried to be chill, and they were not chill back, so the Phantom, he managed to get killed while we still had the invisibility frames, and this guy, he went for the wrong flask there. So, I mentioned earlier situational awareness. He was not aware of the situation, and the situation was that he had low health and needed to heal, and instead he drank something else. So back-to-back invasions here, right before the Mesmer room, and again, this is normally a hellish place to invade. You kind of see why there. But luckily, I've got the freezing mist, and I think it kind of freaks these guys out a little bit. Again, like, they should just take the frostbite, who cares, and then just rush me down. But another thing that happens is we see that they're summoning in a third person, so it's kind of like, alright, this is our chance, now or never, right? So just go in, slash that guy down, and as a bonus we managed to get the Phantom, and that's always nice. Okay, this is the last invasion that I have here, but this is a fun one, because we get to come in with this Divine Beast, and he's using like an Ice Storm, weapon here, or not a weapon, but Ice Storm like spell thing here. I'm sure you guys have all encountered this guy. Like, this guy's pretty tough, and we managed to time our attack with his attack absolutely perfectly there, which was really nice. Just completely deleted that dude. Now this guy, same thing happens to him, and look at that. It almost looked like the Divine Beast guy teabagged him for a second there, right? I don't know if you saw that, but it almost looked like he teabagged him, and I think it's because that guy was wearing a big beast helmet. And that Divine Beast was like, fuck you, dude, don't wear that shit around me. But anyways, the host, he runs away, and check this out. This is how you can actually get good use of the Zamor Ice Storm. spell. It's not really the greatest. You can charge it up. You can make it do more damage with a special hat and all the other ways that you can make any spell do a lot of damage. But yeah, it goes through walls like that. And if people are kind of trapped, like you can maybe frostbite them if you manage to get him good there. And this guy, he's typical, you know, what you usually call a Kevin, which is Radon armor, runes of blood. Even the brass shield is pretty typical. You'll see a lot of them out in the wild as you're invading. They're usually pretty easy to put down once you get them alone. So here's a quick look at the stats. This is a level 200 build, and we're going for like a, you know, ice Viking kind of thing here. So storm weapon arts, ice spells, that kind of stuff. So I've got 47 intelligence to go with the 80 strength, and that makes the cold infusions hit pretty hard. And I can also cast those ice spells. I've got the Shard of Alexander and the two-handed sword talisman. That gives me pretty big damage. I'm always two-handing the weapons unless I'm going for a parry. And the Shard of Alexander is really good with something like Storm Assault in particular. Here's a good look at the fashion as well. I actually think I did a pretty good job putting this together. I don't know about you, but I like my guys to look unique and look pretty cool. I think this guy looks pretty cool. Here's a look at the weapons. So everything here has either an ice weapon art or a storm weapon art, with maybe one or two exceptions. I think I have Giant Hunt on the Great Spear there, but otherwise everything is either cold infused or it's a strength int weapon, and we do pretty good damage. But that's it. That's the build. I hope you enjoyed the invasions. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more, and I'll be back soon.